We've already set up the operations, and there's risk no matter where you have the quarantine system, and this is what we have to accept. There's a lot of risk involved. Our quarantine system now, which is overseen by the New South Wales Police, has thousands of people involved, whether it's police, health workers, cleaners, hotel staff, other staff, and also we need to have good proximity to our hospital system as well, given the issues that we're dealing with. So there are very complex operational matters. We also know that there's a risk when people are being transported in small spaces who might have the virus and how that can get out. So it doesn't matter where you, and this is an important thing to note, it doesn't matter where you have the quarantine system, the risk is always there. And it's interesting that some of the issues the other states have raised is pretty much because they've now faced those challenges New South Wales has been facing for the last 12 months. We've been through all of this many times, and we're resilient. We've shown our capacity to deal with large numbers of Australians coming back home. And my ask to the Prime Minister is, yes, New South Wales is doing our part. We've done more than our fair share, frankly, on behalf of the nation. And in return, I'd like to see our quarantine workers the first in line to get the jab when it's available. Well, I'm really looking forward to a time in which we can go back to resuming international travel, welcoming international students, being able to get around our business before COVID. But the Prime Minister has made very clear that those opportunities aren't open to us until all those Australians wanting to come back home come home. So it's in our collective interest to get those Aussies home as soon as possible, because then it opens up opportunities for other things into the future. And that's why, you know, the Prime Minister has made the federal government's position very clear on this matter. They want to, and as they should, prioritise Australians coming home. And until we finish that job as a nation, we can't move forward with the other things we should look at. And that's why we're committed to doing our part. We're Australians as well as New South Wales, but I do ask the Prime Minister, and he's been very sympathetic to what I raised today in National Cabinet, that quarantine workers in New South Wales and in those states that are bearing the burden. In New South Wales, for much of this process, has been doing half or more than half. Sometimes we've been doing 2/3 of the nation's, or even more than that. Victoria has been out of action and is still obviously not in full swing. WA has its challenges. We have obviously been tried and tested a number of times, and we've made sure that at every chance we have to tweak the system to make it even stronger, we will. Other states are still going through that process. But I know that what's in the best interest of New South Wales and the nation is to get those Australians home as soon as we can, so that then we can turn to other things which will save jobs in our state, which will create jobs and allow us to go back to having a life similar to what we experienced before COVID.